Hello friends, today we will discuss the topic of square root. Now let us have first of all an overview of the session. Now in this session we will cover how to calculate the square root of a number. Then we will do the application of square root in certain questions. Lastly, you will have some practice questions with an answer key. Now let us first of all friends find out how to calculate the square root of a number. Now there are two methods of finding the square root. One is called the division method and the other one is called the factorization method. Let us first of all start with the division method. Now let me first of all pick an example. Here I have picked up a number as 289. Now when we have to find the root using division method, we start with the right hand side of the number. From here we make pairs of two digits. And then we separate the first pair or whatever is the first single digit number. In this example, I have 2. Now the next step is we will think of a number whose square is immediately lesser than or equal to the first number in the beginning of the number. Now in my case, I know that the number is 1. 1 square is 1, which is immediately lesser than the number 2. Now we will write this number 1 here as well as over here. And we will write the square over here. Now in the next step, as we do in division, we will subtract the 2. Now, in the next step, what we will do is, we will pick up the entire pair and bring it down. So, I'll pick up this entire 89 and bring this number down. In the next step, friends, whatever number we have over here, we will twice this number and write this number over here. So I'll do twice of 1 as 2 and place it over here. Now in the next step, friends, what I have to do is I'll pick up a digit, place that digit over here, and the same digit I'll place over here. Then I will multiply this entire 2-digit number with the digit which I have placed at the end of this number and result in a product which is immediately lesser than or equal to this number 189. So in this case, that number is 7. And I write the product over here. Then as we proceed in simple division, we take the difference and the remainder comes out to be 0. And the division has ended perfectly. And then we can conclude that the square root of 289 is 17. So I hope friends you have understood this division method. Now let us now go to the second method, that is called the factorization method. Now, using this factors method, first of all, we need to find the prime factors of a number whose square root we want to evaluate. Now, let me pick an example. Here, I have chosen the number as 36. Now, first of all, we will find the prime factors of this number 36. Now, after we have found the prime factors of the number 36, here I am writing them in expanded form. Now, while finding the root of 36 using factorization method, we will first of all make pairs of the similar factors. So here I have made a pair of 2 as well as a pair of 3. Now, for every pair that we have made, while taking the root, we pick up single factor. So for a pair of 2, I have picked up a single 2. Similarly, for a pair of 3, I have picked up a single 3. I will multiply the 2 and hence the result is 6. So the root of 36 is 6. So these are the two methods through which we can find the square root of a number. Now let us start with certain questions. Here we go to the first question. In this question, we have to find the square root of this bigger number. This we should do using the division method. But I'll teach you one more trick which you can easily apply in MCQ based paper to find the square root of such bigger numbers. Now the trick is, friends, we should go to the choices. And in each choice, we should check only the units digit. Now if we square the units digit, then the result should be 9 as in my given number. But for example, here we have units digit in the first option as 2. 2 squared is 4. Hence first choice is not my answer. Similarly, if I square the units digit of the second choice, I get the result as 5. Whereas my number in the question ends with 9. Hence, we can eliminate the second choice also. On the same grounds, we can eliminate the fourth option as it ends with 6 and the square of 6 ends with 6. We are left with now only the third choice, which will be my answer. And also for your verification, you can check that in the third choice, the units digit is 3 and the square of 3 ends with 9. So I hope, friends, that this trick is very useful to you in most of the aptitude exams. Let us go to the next question. Now, in this question, we have to find the root of certain numbers. Again, we should use the division method of finding the roots. But for smaller numbers, such as these, it is suggested that you learn the squares from 1 till 31 approximately. So I start writing the root of number 324. Which is 18. Now in the next step, we will add the number 7. And the result is 25. Now you can see, friends, there is a root sign on the top of this much expression. So in the next step, we will do root of 25. And the result is 5. Now we have solved till this much part of the question. Now in the next step, we will pick up this number 4, add with this 5. The result is 9. And again, there is a root sign on the top of this expression. So we will do root of 9. The result is 3. Then we pick up this 22. Add with this 3. The result is 25. And then we take the root of 25. The result is 5. And in the last step, we add the number 116. The result comes out to be 121. And in the last step, we have to take again the root of 121. Hence, the result is 11. So I hope, friends, that you have understood this question. Let us move to the next question. Now this is a similar question as the previous one. So we'll start taking the root of 729, which comes out to be 27. Then I'll take the root of 121, which is 11. And then 676, which is 26. Now, after we have evaluated the square roots, we find that, students, that there is a similar number in the numerator and similar number in the denominator, which we can eliminate. Now, same way we can eliminate this 11. And also we can eliminate this 26. And hence, the result is 1. Now this question becomes very easy to solve if you have learnt all the squares, as I said initially. Now let's go to the next question. Now in this question, friends, I'll teach you one more trick, that is how to find the root of the decimal numbers. Now very first step is we must check that each of the numbers should have even number of decimal places. As in the first number there are 2 decimal places, in the second there are 4, in the third there are 6, and in the fourth one there are 8. Now, while taking the root, what we do that, if the number of decimal places are even, we find the root of the number without using the decimal. Now, without using the decimal, each of the numbers is equal to the given number in the question itself. That is 18,225. Whose square root we are already given as 135. So I'll take the root of these numbers without using the decimal, which I'll write for each number as 135. But friends, to find the root of the original number, what we do is, we count the number of decimal places in each number, and while taking the root, we shift the decimal to half of the number of places. So when I say half, that means in the given number there were 2 decimal places. I took half of 2, that is 1. So I shifted the decimal by 1 place. And hence the exact square root of this number becomes 13.5. So as I proceed with the next, I first of all take the root without the decimal. Then I count the number of decimal places, which are 4. Take half of them and shift the decimal position by 2 places towards the left. I did not mention it initially, but friends, we have to shift the decimal position towards the left. So exact root becomes 1.35. So similarly, if we do with the next number, we take the root without the decimal, then count the decimal positions over here, which are 6. Take half of them, that is 3, and shift the decimal position by 3 places towards the left. Hence the root comes out to be 0.135. Now same way we proceed with the next number. Take the root as 135 without the decimal. Then count the decimal positions over here, which are 8. Take half of them and shift the decimal number by 4 places towards the left. And hence the root becomes 0.0135. Finally, you add all the numbers and the result is 14.9985. Let's see the next question. In this question, friends, we need to find which smallest number needs to be subtracted or added to the given number so that it becomes a perfect square. Now friends, when we have to find what needs to be added or subtracted, we always take the root of the number using division method, which we had already discussed. So here I'll first of all take the root of 1640 using the division method. Now here I stop because the division has not terminated completely. Instead, we have found certain remainder. So in the first part of the question, friends, when we have to answer what needs to be subtracted, we subtract the remainder itself. Because for the division to terminate completely, there should not be any remainder, and hence the number is 40 itself, which needs to be subtracted for the number to be a perfect square. But in the second part of the question, where we have to find what needs to be added, there is one step that is different. Now, while taking the root, we have picked up the digit 0 because we want to have a product which is immediately lesser than this 40. Now, instead of this step, we will pick up the next higher digit. That is, instead of placing 0 at the back of it, we will place 1, which will result in 81. Multiply it with 1 and the product gets 81. Now this product has become higher than this number 40. We subtract the 2 and we get the result as 41. So friends, 41 needs to be added to the original number 1640 to make it a perfect square of 41. So we add 41 with 1640 so that it becomes the square of 41. Now let us go to the next question. Now here we have to find which smallest number needs to be multiplied and divided with the given number, that is 750, to make it a perfect square. Now in contrast to the previous question where we have discussed what needs to be added or subtracted, here we have to find what needs to be multiplied or divided. We use the factorization method of finding the root. Hence we start making the factors of 750. Now once we have completed finding the prime factors of the number 750, here we write them in the expanded form. Now, as we discussed, friends, in the factorization method, we should make pairs of the similar factors. But here, friends, we are able to complete only one pair. So, in the first part of the question, that is, what needs to be multiplied, whosoever numbers pair is not complete, we have to complete that factor. So I need 1 2, 1 3 and I need 1 5. That means I need to multiply the number with 30 so that we can complete a pair of 2 as well as a pair of 3 as well as a pair of 5. Now in the second part of the question, where we need to find what needs to be divided, again, whosoever factors pair is not complete, we will divide by the same number and eliminate it. So we are not able to complete the pair of 2 and of 3 and of 5. Hence we divide with a 2, a 3 and a 5 and eliminate it. So we must divide with the same number 30. Now let's see the next question. In this question, friends, we are given that each student contributed as many paise as the number of students in the class, and also that we have to find the number of students. So first of all, we let the number of students as X. So contribution per student is also equal to X paise. Next step, we will find the total money collected. So the total money is equal to X into X, but the units are paise. So here I want to tell you that the units are paise, but in the given question, we are given the collection in terms of rupees. Hence, while making the equation, we will convert the rupees into paise. So the equation is X square is equal to 144 into 100. So friends, why we are multiplying with this 100? To make the units as paise. This is the most important step. So in the next step, we take the root of this number and the final answer comes out to be 120, which is my required answer. Now lastly friends, let us have some practice questions with answer key. Thank you friends and happy learning.